So different controls using entities. I'll start with the text box. Now the text box icon allows users to add text box, of course. Now you can either double click on this icon here or drag it to the attribute section. Either way, I think I would actually prefer to just drag it in here like this. Now once it is there, after the text box has been selected as an attribute, you need to define properties of the attribute selected. So simply click on this here, right here, and on the right hand side it'll bring up the property section consisting of different values. I'll actually take the existing one just to make things easier. Right, now here, alright, say first name. So yeah, now there are different sections and different values. Start with the name. Now in the name section you enter the name to define the field. Now this is not what is displayed as the text box, but just defines the field. Right, so the text box is first name, but the name is candidate name. So, and also the text should be entered without any spaces in here. Right, and if there are more than one word in the name, the starting letter of the second word should always be a capital letter. So here we have candidate name. I mean, regardless of candidate C in the candidate being upper or lowercase, the name, the N in the name should always be in uppercase. Now the caption. So the text entered in the caption section right here is displayed as the name of the field. So if no text is entered in this section, it will show the text that has been entered in the name section up here. Right, so we've already got the first name here. And by default, so in this section what happens is now the values entered in this section will be displayed by default in the name field. So say for example if the name is Thomas here, well if that is entered, if the name Thomas is entered in the default section, it will show Thomas in the first name field when the application is created, like at the end. Right, and then so that's the default, and after that, now after all the fields are set, like the name, caption and default, we have the ability to set about validations for the fields that you've created, like say for the first name now. So now in order to do that, you have different validation options here, which is required, a checkbox. So if you check on this, now this defines if the field is required or a mandatory field, or which means like if the users need to enter information there, right? If you click on this checkbox, it will set that as required. And max length, now this is to set the maximum length of characters in a field, so you can define how many characters are allowed in this particular field. And minimum length, min length, which this is also to set the minimum length of characters in a field, so you can define the minimum characters that must be entered in this particular field. Okay. And the pattern, so pattern is basically to define what pattern the information in the text box should be set as. So for example, if you're creating an email field instead of the first name field, now you can set a pattern as example.com, so which will show to the users that they'll have to enter the information in this particular format that has been set. Okay. A number only, this is basically to define if users can enter only numbers and no characters in this particular field created. Now this is basically used in different fields like phone numbers, SSN field, zip code, and so on.